Hi, I'm Ashura, and today we're putting the lore in Lordaeron and going through the new 9.2.5 questline! It's been encrypted on the PTR up until this point, so I have literally no idea what's supposed to be in it, other than it supposedly takes place in Tirisfal and features none other than the former princess of Lordaeron herself, Calia Menethil. Don't actually know if it's going to be a short questline or a long questline, or if this isn't even the only one and there's multiple. But once the servers come up, we'll dive in and see. This is a story playthrough, so I'm going to mostly focus on going through the quests, reading them, seeing what the NPCs have to say, and maybe talking a bit about the lore, while actually skipping the parts where I have to do the quests. So once the servers come up, we're gonna dive right in. An alarming rumor has reached me, thanks to our spies. The Forsaken are mustering in Tirisfal glades. For what purpose, I do not know. Notably, Calia Menethil has gone there as well. We must know more of what they are up to now that the accursed Banshee Queen no longer unites them. Go. Don a disguise and see what you can discover. Observe everything, and if there is opportunity to gain their trust and learn more, do as they ask. I eagerly await your report.
You must don a disguise and travel deep into enemy territory. Do not let down your guard. In life, Calia Menethil endured more than her share of sorrow. She may not be a typical undead, but the Forsaken are not to be trusted. All I do for Gilneas.
Oh, teleport, heck yeah. We cannot be lax in our vigilance. Much remains to be done, and much to be paid for. Calia Menethil was once a member of the royal family of Lordaeron and a priestess. But her brother, Arthas, is the one more infamous. She was another victim to both the Scourge and to Sylvanas. The former killed her family, and the latter killed Kalia herself in a brazen, heartless betrayal. She was raised from death by a Naru and seems intent to continue her aim to help the former citizens of Lordaeron. You will be disguised as one of the Horde. It may not be an exact match for your features, but it should fool them. Remember, do not attack them, and do what they ask you to do. We must know what they're plotting and what they intend to do about Gilneas.
Trust your instincts.
I honestly had not even thought about Gilneas. My brain is entirely focused on Lordaeron. Oh man. Head empty, only excitement.
Who are... Oh, my apologies. I did not recognize you at first. I hope that the old wolf has sent you to help. I believe doing so could benefit the Alliance just as much as the Horde.
The people of Lordaeron have suffered greatly. I hope that I am able to find my home here among them, with the Forsaken. Why wouldn't the Forsaken welcome you? It begins with my name. Hi. I am Arthas Menethil's sister, and I was once a member of the Royal House of Lordaeron, though I was never intended to rule, and nor would I seek to. Some might see me as seeking authority where I have none, or representing the Alliance when I do not. Or some hear the name Menethil, and are rightly horrified by my brother's actions. But I am my own soul, and I have lost as much to the Scourge as any survivor of Lordaeron. All I wish now is to help. Kalia studies you closely for a moment, a smile on her lips. You will fit right in, and do not fear, I will not reveal you to the others here. But please understand, Many of the Forsaken were once citizens of Lordaeron. They're trying to do something extraordinary here, and I promise, if you play along and help them, it will be worth the effort. It will make for a better Azeroth.
May you find peace within.
It's heartening to see progress has been made in rebuilding Brill, but this is only a first step. The ruins of the capital I'm too excited, remain inaccessible because of the Blight. And here is where I hope you will aid the cause. Restoring as much of the land as possible will require a gathering of minds all working together toward a single purpose. A number of influential figures have risen to prominence among the Forsaken. Please help bring them together so we can meet and discuss the path forward. Are we getting our council? Oh, I have to go outside, don't I? I will be honest, I feel like... Does she have a quest? I feel like Forsaken lore is admittedly one of my blind spots. Oh, man. Dalaran Summermoon is here. The plague unleashed during the war has tainted the land and disturbed the dead. That is to say, more so than they already were. We have worked hard to rebuild, but our people cannot complete their efforts while under threat. My first duty is to ensure the safety of the Forsaken. I will meet with the others as Calia requests, but first you must help me eradicate some of these blighted.
I will join the meeting, but we must ensure that the outskirts of Brill are secure.
I long for the day when I and the apothecaries can return to our experiments in the Undercity. What a waste. Master Apothecary Farinel at your service. Well, at the service of the Forsaken, naturally. I am a patriarch of potions, artist of alchemy, maestro of mixtures. My concoctions in my laboratory are legendary. That is, when I had a real laboratory. But one thing at a time.
Yes, I will come. But first, behold, as my creation eradicates the Blight. You may applaud at any time. No, my beautiful construct. Dash it all. How can we hope to succeed now?
I guess that didn't work out. Man, I love how much we're getting, like, the little question blurbs, like asking them further questions and seeing what their answers are. I absolutely adore, like, extra bits of information like that.
And that's where we stand. Sylvanas is gone, and our homeland remains overrun with toxic blight.
Derek.
What have I become?
My little sister Jaina introduced me to Kalia after I unexpectedly returned from the sea. Lady Kalia has helped me confront what all this means now, with patience and grace, and I will stand with her to serve as I am able. You know, I don't think I ever actually did that quest, but I saw it, like I watched it. Oh my god, there's so much! This is a hard time for the Forsaken. It feels like we're always saying that, but it's true. But we'll take care of ourselves, and not wait for anyone else to swoop in and save us. We have to stick together. Who are
There
you?
is much to be done. What is it you ask?
I haven't decided yet, but I've got my eye on her. This is like straight fan service in the best way. Oh my god. I feel like all of the complaints, sorry, I shouldn't say complaints. I feel like all of the concerns that people have had with the direction of the content with regards to Kalia becoming the next ruler and I guess them trusting Kalia is answered so directly in these little informational blurbs, and I love it. It's so good.
I will attend this gathering. After all, someone needs to make sure Kalia gets a chance to speak up for herself.
We have much to
Oh wait, I can ask her?
stand with the Forsaken.
I am Velinara, former ranger of the Queldori. I served under Ranger General Sylvanas Windrunner, and I served the Banshee Queen in death. I am loyal to the Forsaken and the Horde, and will use my bow in their defense for as long as I have strength. Some might also ask if the Dark Rangers are to be trusted as well. We were Sylvanas' closest cohorts, and even we were left behind. I have declared... So hard. I have declared my allegiance to the Forsaken. Kalia should be given the opportunity to prove the same. That should give our guards some breathing room. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Thank you for the help.
Vendello, Eranu.
My blade stays sharp.
Looks like we're ready to get started. I don't think there have been this many Forsaken in one place since... well... Darkshore. But we are in our own lands now, and it's time we take care of our own. Did Farinal also... Oh my god, there's more! I am Deathstalker Commander Belmont, leader of the Forsaken's more subtle forces. I have gotten out of tricky situations more than once. My Deathstalkers are no mere bodyguards. We are a death in the shadows. Why don't you trust Kalia? Like, not even do you trust her, just how about no? Is she really one of us? She wasn't raised like we were. She didn't suffer like we have. Does her heart burn with anger and her ichor flow with spite? Has her every moment of undeath been locked in a battle to survive against those who wish all of us permanently dead? How can we trust her?
Keep your guard up. Hello.
Did I ask him already? Yes. No, I didn't. I suspect she would not be as accommodating of my work as the Banshee Queen was. Sylvanas was many things, and among them, she was our greatest patroness. The future of the apothecaries must be ensured. I will accept nothing less.
Trust in the apothecary.
Does she have anything else to
Light's
say?
blessing upon you.
Okay.
My blade stays sharp. Do not linger.
We, the Forsaken, have been through a lot since the destruction of Lordaeron, but we are determined to keep our home. Why should we give up what we fought so hard to carve out for ourselves? Kalia is still a relative newcomer in some ways, but obviously, she's known to our people. How could she not be, as the sister of Arthas himself? I hope we can move forward, and that she can really help. Her voice could be a powerful one, if she is really truly committed to the people.
There is much to be done. Keep your guard up. All right. What are we going to do about the plague in the Undercity?
Don't you mean what are we going to do about her?
We should focus on the Blight. Farinal, do we have any more of your Plague Eaters?
This is my last one! And it's a puny thing. I can make more, but to be effective, they must be formulated to survive the plague!
If I may, our allies in the Shadowlands might be able to provide insight. In particular, the Plague Lords of Maladraxas.
Phased content?
We all have our duty.
What do you propose?
For Lordaeron. Master Apothecary, what do you need to make your creation stronger?
Nothing less than a pure, undiluted sample of that plague. From deep within its reaches.
Very well. I will help acquire that sample for you.
That is one solution. You won't succeed.
Dang.
I live my life.
Tempted to like click on them at every interval to see if what they have to say changes.
I stand ready to help.
I expected that my presence might cause friction, but I'm grateful to Lillian for her mediation and for giving me the chance to show that I am committed to helping the Forsaken people. But now, I must prove it.
May you find peace within.
Ah, the objective! I promised that I would help, and I shall. We need that pure sample of the plague afflicting Lordaeron, but we cannot put anyone else at risk. Come with me. I will call forth a shield of holy light to safeguard us deep into the blighted area, so that we can collect that sample. The spell will require my full focus. I'll trust you to protect us from anything that might try to stop us. Are you with me? What do you mean anything that might try to stop us? Are we talking about like random blight creatures?
Honor the past, but embrace the future.
Oh, yeah, those are okay.
We all have our duty.
Calia stares out across the field of plague. Her hands tremble slightly. She's scared. Oh my god. One of my favorite things about Calia's character, and I think something that I love about her that was in Before the Storm that I relate to, is she's so naive and so anxious and so uncertain. You know, she's in her 40s, but she has never really decided for herself. And I feel like she's gotten to this point where she has good intentions, but is so absolutely terrible about executing them. Pun unintended. And, you know, and Before the Storm, it worked out so terribly for her, but she didn't shy away from it. Like, it is amazing that she is so dedicated to righting the wrongs of her family, to righting the wrongs of who she was when she was younger, that even though she's absolutely terrified, she is risking her life for the second time to go in here to prove herself. She must absolutely feel the weight of Arthas's failures, and like she has to make up for that. And these two sentences are so loaded. Her hands tremble slightly.
Stay close.
Okay.
And be wary. I can't hold back
Weight
the
of
effects of the Blight for
responsibility.
long, and we don't know what threats are lurking out there. I stand ready to help.
This is so good.
Toxicity is overwhelming.
And the music.
Light's blessing upon you. This should be far enough. Hurry. Get the sample. That's it. We need to get back. My shield is starting to fail.
I was honestly worried that we would have to go further into Lordaeron because they said practically going to the heart of it. Oh no.
Keep fighting. We're almost there.
Yeah, I can say that to you too.
I stand ready to help.
Well, I'll be.
She did it and survived.
That's something you don't see every day.
We have the Blight
Linda.
sample. Now to bring it to the Plague Lords of Maladraxas.
I hope you're right about their expertise, Lady Menethil. This could give us a fighting chance to restore the city.
I'll accompany Calia along with our friend here. Farinel, we'll need to bring your last Plague Eater with us too.
I like how nobody questions my presence. It's just like,
Do be
you're in
careful
disguise.
with it. Should these plague lords bolster its resilience, the apothecaries can replicate it many times over.
I hope Calia is right about these lords of Maladraxas. That they know how to deal with this sort of powerful plague. We've only got one Plague Eater left. Two, but Farinel says he can replicate more of them as long as they're strong enough to survive. Let's get to the Shadowlands. No clothes this time. I like... like, I guess it's kind of obvious in retrospect that you would go to Maladraxas to deal with the plague and the Undercity, the Blight. But I didn't even... my brain was so focused on Lordaeron, I didn't even think about... But I kind of assumed... honestly, that we would go to, like, the House of Plagues? Like, to Marilith or something? Rather than Sindane, but maybe we'll do that after this? I mean... depending on how useful... helpful... not useful! How helpful Marilith could be. Oh my goodness. Oh, into the necropolis. You carry a rather nasty example of the
Grateful for your aid, Margrave.
Ah, Maw Walker. I sensed you had a part to play in this. Step forward.
A rather nasty example of the unchecked and unfettered ambition of a plague maker. I trust the creator of this monstrosity has already been purged. What would you ask of the houses of Maladraxas?
We all have our duty.
Oh yeah, we do go to Marilith next! Okay. The one with the knowledge you seek is a survivor of the House of Plagues. You already know him. Plague Deviser Marilith may not be the most lucid of conversationalists, but he will know what to do with your plague. Find him near the ruins of that fallen house. But be wary. Many things lurking there could end your existence without a hint of concern.
Before I take my leave, Margrave, may I speak to you concerning the nature of undeath?
You will find no one with greater knowledge on the subject than I, mortal. Proceed.
The Forsaken were raised through necromancy, and this shared origin has provided them a sense of unity. I, however, was raised by the light. That difference has caused me to wonder if I can ever truly find a place among them.
Necromancy is the art of animating unliving flesh. Here in Maltraxis, we use the magic of death to accomplish our craft. But whether these rituals are empowered by death, or light, or any other magic, necromancy is necromancy. You perceive a difference where there is none, child.
Then perhaps I have found my purpose. Thank you, Margrave. Your perspective has been a great help.
Because at the end of the day, yeah, she's undead. She's been raised too, but there's... It's almost less about the fact that she's also undead, and it doesn't matter how, and more the fact that their experiences of being undead have differed so greatly, you know, because to the undead, like, light is pain, and it in a way is that Calia was lucky enough to be raised by a force that most people generally associate as positive, the light, right? she's still undead, but she doesn't look like a traditional undead. She probably doesn't smell like a traditional undead. And because most people associate the light as a force for good, depending on who you ask, Illidan would probably say no, is that even though she's undead, I would say people are more generally predisposed to accept Calia, right? I think where she struggles to see if she fits in or not is not so much in the way she was raised, but more the fact that so much that's integral to the Forsaken struggle has to be with becoming something different, becoming a monster to the people you love, and struggling with that and finding her identity again. And Calia has, in a way, you know, because of her identity as a member of the Menethil royal family, kind of always been a monster, but people aren't going to see her and scream and run away in the same way that they might see an undead and scream and run away. You know, like, she will never have the same experience that they did in Before the Storm, where they wanted to go visit their living relatives, and some of them just screamed and ran away. And I think a lot, you know, that's not something easily fixed by, you know, Sindane's saying, well, you're both undead, you know, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's like, there's still such a different experience between the two of them there, and that's something that Calia will never have by virtue of the way that she was raised. But I still think, like, that doesn't mean she can't help, that doesn't mean she can't
We brought this tiny plague eater. Can you make it
bring
stronger?
something to it from her own experience. Marilyn!
My blade stays sharp.
This is so loaded.
Shall we get to work?
Hello, my favorite apprentice. Say, you look a tad wan. Are you certain you're getting enough sleep? I love Marilyn. Your little friend there looks hungry. Not to worry, I know just what to feed it. Soon it will grow big and strong and can be able to eat all the plague it can. There are various concoctions nearby that will give it bolstering properties, and every color is a different flavor. I will take the plague sample you brought me deeper into the House of Plagues to see what else we can learn. Meet me there, and let your plague eater dine in style.
Everything you need can be found in the House of Plagues. Let's get this sample of yours ready for testing.
The House of Plagues.
Did he just walk into... Oh, never mind. I'd better give him some cover. Meet you farther in.
Marilyn Voss team up is
I
something.
will call upon the light to shield you from the caustic fog. Be careful.
To shield Voss? Or me? The player? Because I feel like that would hurt Voss. Okay. The House of Plagues has suffered calamity, much like Lordaeron. I hope that our work and effort here will reverse some of that destruction. But first, we must reach further into the House of Plagues so we can strengthen the capabilities of Farinel's Plague Eater. Any slime or creature you slay will surely help it gain fortitude.
I stand ready to help.
Oh, no, it was me. Shielded from environmental damage in the House of Plagues. Man, why didn't I have that in the dungeon? Alright.
While you bolster your little friend, I'll see what I can learn about your plague sample. My, oh my, what a pernicious little strain. Let's give it some body and study its characteristics.
Of the many things that I want to go through the lore and kind of, like, keep track of, I think all the different undead strains, the plague strains, undead strains, plague strains are one of them, because I feel like there's, like, a new one every expansion or every time you have undead content. Because there was a Gilneas one, there was the one that they were trying to make in Northrend, there's the South Shore one, and I don't know if these are all separate or if they're the same but iterated upon. Because, like, the Northrend one was the new plague, and then the South Shore one was supposed to be so bad that they aren't able to inhabit South Shore for years. Like, it's supposed to disperse immediately, but it doesn't. I don't know. God, I don't remember the specific lore. No, Marilyn!
Divisor! Blast it! The plague sample turned on him. Hurry and get over here!
Any new ideas for
Did you see that? What a fearsome plague sample you brought me. It hit me in the head and quite nearly killed your friend's apprentice. Marvelous. Okay, I gotta do the other quest.
We all have our duty.
The Plague Eater is looking so much stronger already. I think Master Apothecary Farinell would be pleased.
We will find peace with him.
What a nasty little plague you've brought me, apprentice. Must have been concocted by a true sadist. To study the sample, I gave it form, but the ungrateful thing turned on me and attacked, completely unprovoked. It shuffled a bit further on into the house. I hate to say it, but I believe this one must be put down before it is allowed to grow any stronger or larger. Look on the bright side. If your Plague Eater manages to survive, it'll be attuned to your particularly terrible form of Blight. The plague sample enlivened by Marilith and meaner than expected.
that plague sample you brought put up quite a fight. I'm afraid you'll have to deal with it now.
Take the Plague Eater with you. If it survives that monstrosity, we'll know we've got the right formula.
This seems like a lot of risk.
I live my life in the shadows.
Despite all the trouble that sample gave us, I think I actually have a little bit of hope now. We've strengthened our Plague Eater, and now it looks ready to take on a much, much bigger meal. Let's get it back to Farinell. He said he can replicate its properties and disperse Plague Eaters all across the ruins. Then maybe, just maybe, we can set foot in our home again. Here, take my Hearthstone. It'll bring you back to Brill.
Calia and I will get the Plague Eater to the apothecaries. Use my Hearthstone and meet us back in Tirisfal.
Well worn, made of a chunk
It
of
was
gravestone.
wonderful seeing you again, my apprentice. Do remember to visit.
The quick teleports are the most underrated, most appreciated part of recent quests. I feel like I remember when Magni just left us and ran everywhere himself. The worst. This is so exciting. Are we really gonna get to see Lordaeron again? Oh, I should not go that way.
Do you need something? We have replicated and loaded my improved Plague Eaters. We are ready to deploy.
Master Apothecary, you should know that the Blight sample we took to Maladraxas took form and became aggressive.
Really? I suppose that should make it easier to kill. Ingenious! Wish I'd thought of that.
All the undead apothecaries are so eccentric.
What is it you ask?
I am forsaken. I am forsaken.
Wonderful. Not only did you manage not to lose my Plague Eater, you brought it back stronger than ever. Now, witness the genius and rapidity of my machines. There will be more than enough Plague Eaters to spread across the surface of the Undercity. The surface?
A little of that.
The time has come. By the light, I pray our plan works. Master Apothecary Farinell's wagons have reproduced the Plague Eater many times over, and the bats are ready to deploy them. If you see a place where our forces could spread even more of the remedy, you can signal them with a flare. Take to the skies, and let's put an end to the Blight. For Lordaeron, and for the Forsaken.
All our efforts have come to this. I pray our strategy works.
My forces will join you in the skies to help with any unforeseen side effects.
Alright, I'm guessing if the Plague Eater consumes the Blight, the Plague Eater will become aggressive and then we'll have to fight it. Unleash a Plague Eater.
It's working! The Plague Eaters are consuming the Blight!
They've eaten their fill, and now they're gathering up in the middle of the ruins? Far away.
Keep going! Whatever happens, we will be ready.
The Plague Eaters have merged into a gigantic monstrosity! Kill it! Kill it now!
I'm so glad I was right. Can you imagine if they just end up making the situation worse and Lordaeron was not only blighted but had like this massive monster?
Courtyard now that the ruins are clearing.
Wow! We did it. By working together, we've cleared the surface level of the deadly plague cloud. It will take more time to clean up the lower reaches of the Undercity, but it's a fine start.
There is much to be done.
They did it! They really did it! By combining our knowledge and expertise, we've restored the surface of the Undercity to the Forsaken. It was only possible by setting aside our distrust and acting for the good of our people. Now it's time to make this council official. We are no longer the same undead that followed and served Sylvanas Windrunner. From here on, we lead ourselves with the same spirit of independence and pride we've had since we reclaimed our free will. It's time for a new future with new leadership.
No more excuses. No more Banshee Queen. The Forsaken have many different points of view, and we should be led by a council, not a single ruler.
My fellow Dark Rangers and I are with you.
Are we really going to trust a Menethil on the council?
I cannot escape the shadows of my past, but I have no desire for a throne. My place is here among you, and I vow to serve all our people.
I take you at your words, Lady Menethil. And we, the apothecaries, will help shape our brighter future.
Then it's settled. We are the Desolate Council. We are the Forsaken.
Light's blessing upon you.
I am greatly honored that they have accepted me as a part of the new leadership of the Forsaken. I swear that I will do my best to protect and preserve the people, no matter where they come from, or what form of undeath has created them. What form of undeath has created them? Honey, you're the only form of undeath that has come from the light. What are you saying?
Honor the past,
Well met.
but embrace the future.
Okay, I knew this was coming, cause spoilers, but I'm Valinara tears at you knowingly. It was a fair disguise, but I saw at once that you were not who you claimed to be. Regardless, you risked your life to aid us. I will not forget that. There are those among the Kaldor raised by Sylvanas' Valkyr who wish to return to their own. No! No way! If Tyrande would have them back, they are free to go. The rest will be welcome in the ranks of the Dark Rangers. In recognition for your service to us, I offer this gift.
When we dark fallen elves were raised into undeath, Silvermoon shunned us. All that we knew, all that we loved, had been lost. In time, we found a place here within the ruins of Lordaeron. But after it was blighted in the war, we feared we had lost this home too. Today, we not only reclaimed our legacy, we began a new path forward. And for aiding our cause, we owe you a great debt. Many of the Kaldori raised during the battle for Darkshore wish to remain here with the Dark Rangers. But any who choose to depart and rejoin the Alliance are free to do so. Hadiel Shala. Farewell.
I'm honestly speechless. Thank you for all of your assistance leading to this historic moment. I believe there may be others who are interested in what happened here. Please, carry this letter and my well wishes when you return to them.
I stand ready to help. So many memories.
I have not been here for many years. The memories that linger. It's such a mixture of pain and comfort.
For Lord,
I live my life in the shadows.
The Forsaken are stronger when reunited. Look at what we've done. Now, we can build our future from here.
Keep your guard up.
Is that? Oh, man. Right click to read. She has a title? King Greymane. I guess I should, Hearth? I'll do that after. Okay. The ally you sent to aid us was most effective, and in return for your patience, I offer welcome news. With the formation of the new Desolate Council, one of the first topics I propose is the withdrawal of Forsaken troops from the Kingdom of Gilneas. In time, I hope that we may come closer to agreement and see both lands into a brighter future. Warm regards, Calia Menethil, the Pallid Lady. This is I love that this is the quest that opens up the cross-faction patch because holy crap! Holy crap! Does that mean we get both the Undercity and Gilneas back in a future content patch? Okay. Oh my god, is Gen gonna take this well?
We owe much to the Alliance.
King Greymane, the ally you sent to aid us was most effective. In return for your patience, I offer a gesture of goodwill. With the formation of the new Desolate Council, one of the first topics I intend to discuss is the withdrawal of Forsaken troops from Gilnean lands. This effort will take time, but I believe that we will come to an accord, and that both our kingdoms will see a brighter future.
Well, this is welcome news. I find myself surprised in a pleasant way for the first time in a long while.
Where's your cynicism, Gen?
Let us all hope that the future is indeed brighter.
They did what? And Kalia has proposed a discussion on the return of Gilneas? Your ability astounds me. Well done.
My people have endured much. For country, for
That's
family.
it! Wait, is this the old Stay a While and Listen? And I'm just like... I think so. Alright, I won't click on it. God, what if there are Stay a While listens for this? I just have to go back to... Lordaeron. Undercity. And see. Oh god, I'm honestly speechless though. I feel like everything about that was perfect. So, turns out there is a horde-only cutscene at the end of this quest chain. That's what I get for doing this on an Alliance character. So I just found it on YouTube so I could watch it.
Within this hall, we shared ceremonies, celebrations, and tragedy. I loved my family, and on one fateful day, I lost them all. Now I am all that remains of the once proud Menethil line. The last heir to a legacy that ended in shame.
So you ran away from the pain. I did too. But it was only when I stopped running that I understood. Those people out there, they're my family now.
But will they ever truly accept me? Bearing a name, forever stained by a brother's sins. Just as these flagstones are stained by my father's blood.
We are all the same here, Kalia. Seeking our place, despite everything we've lost. But it's a long road. And we will need your help.
Then, let us find our place. Together.
As Forsaken.
Oh man, you know, I do love how the Forsaken struggle is inherently about finding one's identity, finding one's, you know, place in the world after so many things have changed about them and the world, you know, the inside and the outside. And I love that even though Kalia doesn't have exactly the same experience as the Forsaken, and that's something that she's painfully aware of, and that's something that a lot of people, you know, I think have qualms with her about, I would say, or concerns maybe is a better word. I like that she still has that problem in her own way, you know, that she still has an identity crisis as somebody who comes from Lordaeron, whose whole, you know, childhood identity of being the sister to the future heir and the family she had, that this all just disappeared. And where do you go from there, you know? Her struggle is not necessarily one of undeath, though it is in relation to being a part of the Forsaken. Her struggle is more of, you know, who is she now that she is no longer that person? And that's so beautifully similar and yet so different from the Forsaken struggle, because hers is a lot more, I shouldn't say it's a lot more internal, because that's not necessarily true, but it is not as, I suppose, externally realized as it is for the undead, in that, you know, the undead contend with this very, like, physical reminder of their changes in both themselves and the landscape. And, you know, Kalia looks different. She's been raised as a light undead. She has died. But, you know, at the end of the day, her struggle is not about being raised, but it is about fitting in. It's about fitting in as one of the Forsaken, even though she's different from them, and about fitting in to the world around her as somebody who no longer fits in the world that she was raised to be a part of. And that's, you know, in a really basic way, that's the Forsaken experience. And I could talk this to death for ages, but I won't. All I want to say is that this quest line felt like a whole love letter to the Forsaken, and everything. And honestly, I have to admit, I've always actually been like deeply a fan of Calia because I have felt her arc is very poetic. But like I said, I haven't really played Forsaken, so I feel like I have no real stake in the whole Forsaken side of things. But just like generally, like last thoughts, I'm in love. I was so good. I'm so excited to see where it goes from here. I think it's I need to stew on this for a bit, because that was like so loaded! Man. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna end this here before I ramble on for the rest of forever and keep talking about how much I love this questline. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Holy yikadoodle! Head empty, excitement only! Oh, nope, that's a place to do the thing. Being undead holy paladin just feels really wrong. It's happening! It's happening! I just skipped straight past my vault. We don't care, we're here for the lore.